world that we live in right now is dangerous for our youth, our little kids. It's dangerous. And it's our responsibility as mothers and fathers and families to protect those children by any means necessary. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, "For he who does not provide for his family, elders, and especially those in his household, he is worse than an infidel." A lot of people, when they read that, they think only providing financially. Yes, it's important for us to provide financially. We got to keep a roof over our heads, over our kids' heads. That's a given. But we're also responsible as believers in Christ, Christian mothers and fathers, to provide protection from every avenue. Protection physically, protection spiritually, protecting the innocence of our kids. You know, we live in a very sexualized society where it's very hard to not see someone undressed. I'm not talking about full-blown nudity, which is not hard at all to find these days. It's not hard to come across if you look for it. But when you're not even looking for it, it's everywhere. It's on TV, commercials, magazine covers, in public. It's everywhere. People dressing inappropriately. It's everywhere. We got to protect our children. Now, I'm not saying that we have to take our kids in public and put blindfolds over their eyes. That's irrational, folks. It's irrational. But I do feel it is our duty to watch and to observe, what our kids watch. The cartoon shows and TV shows that we think are innocent. The times have changed, folks. It's not the 80s anymore. It's not the 90s anymore. Cartoons aren't as innocent as they once were. And to be honest with you, they were never 100% innocent anyway. But that's not the point. The point is, the enemy has decided to target our youth. He's decided to target our youth. It's just like back in the day, back in the when Jesus was born, and King Herod ordered for all males who were above, who were a certain age, to be killed, because he wanted to kill the Christ. He wanted to kill. He went after babies and ordered their deaths. That's horrible. That's horrible. Now, I know we have the epidemic of abortion going on right now. And to be honest with you, to me, that's even worse than killing babies that are born. But the enemy has always tried to attack children. He's always tried to start right at the beginning to corrupt. He's always tried to corrupt from the beginning. He brought sin into the world from the beginning. Always trying to take things out at the root. This is why we see so many subliminal messages in cartoon shows and these TV shows and these Disney movies. We see it everywhere. You got a lot of parents that sleep, that's not paying attention, and I have no idea what's going on in this society because they're too busy working. They're too busy in their own lives, doing their own hobbies, not doing any research. And yet their kids are just soaking up everything. And you wonder why they grow up with the mindset that they have. And you say, this is not how we raised you. This is not what we taught you. This is not the values that we hold in our household. How did this happen? I gotta wonder, how did it happen? We live in the generation under us. I say under us, under me, I'll say. I'm about to be 34 years old next month. So the generation under me, they're unbelievable. They're unbelievable. They are rebellious, irrational. They feel entitled to things. They don't want to work hard. They want everything handed to them. They don't want to believe in God. They think that God is a thing in the past. They think the Bible is just some old book. They actually think that people don't believe in God anymore, and it's crazy. And a lot of it is because of the way they were raised. Their parents failed them. Now, I know some people may get in their feelings when I say that, but it's the truth. Now, I know we can teach our kids this and that, right from wrong, and eventually they're going to grow up to make their own decisions, but I feel we can still do our best to make sure that the enemy doesn't get a hold of them. Like I said, I got 3 kids. It's hard policing my kids, especially when I'm not around them 24/7. You know, they go to school. I have no control over what happens at school. The only thing I can do is teach them. I teach my kids how to act in public. I teach my kids the potential dangers. I teach my kids how they may see other kids act, and if you see a child act like this, get away from that child because they have no home training. You know, I do what I can when I'm not around, but when I'm around, I try to limit what they watch. I do ask questions. I do go around. I pop up. I'm not just occupied with my head buried in the sand while they're doing whatever with the door shut. I don't like closed doors in my home. I don't like closed doors in my home. When I was a kid, I closed doors, and you better believe I closed doors for a reason. So I don't allow that. Now, this isn't no video to tell you how to raise your children, but I'm telling you that the enemy is after our kids. The enemy is after our kids. It's not enough to just provide a home. Yes, that's extremely important, but we need to provide guidance. We need to provide spiritual nourishment. We need to provide, the guidance that they need to get through this world. I mean, are you raising your children, or are you just bringing them up in your home? Because a lot of people just bring them up, and the kids just adopt family habits. They adopt family traditions. They adopt, well, my mom used to do this, and my dad used to do this, and that's why I do it. And now I teach my kids how to do this. Well, if you're going to have any type of tradition, start a tradition that's going to be aware of the world that's around you. A tradition that's going to fight back the enemy. I mean, in some schools these days, we got people that are actually trying to teach our kids that homosexuality is okay. We're at a time where you got people in school trying to teach our kids to accept same-sex marriage, to accept transgenderism. This is where the parents need to step in. You can't allow the schools to tell your children what's right and what's wrong and what's acceptable. It's not their place. It's not their job. It doesn't matter what type of justification or what type of explanation that they have for teaching your kids that sin is okay. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. School systems have pushed God out. They don't want you talking about God. Nobody wants you praying. And you wonder why America is in the state that it's in. It's ridiculous. The American people, they have a blindfold over their eyes. and earplugs in their ears because they can't seem to fathom why things are happening in this world, in this country. The world too, but mainly in this country. Why is this happening? I don't understand. And you understand? You wonder why? Well, this country has forsaken God. We've compromised for the minority. There are bigger agendas that we can talk about, but we're not going to talk about it today. But it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a blessed day. Think about what I said. 1 Timothy 5:8. Meditate on it. He who does not provide for his family, the elders, especially those in his household, is worse than an infidel. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.